A shocking new report uncovering potentially dangerous conditions at the Veterans Hospital right here in Washington, D.C. The VA's chief watchdog launched an investigation after an anonymous tipster complained about problems with equipment and supplies. In a rare move, the VA Inspector General is warning patients and released the preliminary findings in the investigation, which shows surgeons used expired equipment during a procedure. The hospital ran out of tubes used for dialysis, and a device to repair fractures was repossessed for non-payment to a vendor. The hospital director has been relieved of his duties, and officials say more disciplinary action could follow. Joining me to discuss all of this, Allison Jaslow, Chief of Staff for Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, and an Iraq war veteran herself. Allison, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Kristen.
Let me start off by just getting your reaction to this upsetting report.
Well, I'll say, you know what, this actually hits close to home for me. When I got out of the Army in 2008, the VA that I enrolled in was that VA center there in D.C. And I'd say a couple of things. First of all, it underscores the importance still of whistleblowers. You know, the report clearly states itself that some of these things were known by VA officials, but weren't addressed. So thankfully, it was, you know, brought to light not only through that confidential report, but the IG took the action to sort of put this out in the public to get a swift resolution. I'd also say that it underscores the need for accountability, or the Secretary's ability to hold bad actors accountable. And I would say it is nice that as soon as this came to light that they took swift action yesterday.
Let me read the statement from the VA. It says the department considers this an urgent patient safety issue. VA is conducting a swift and comprehensive review into these findings. VA's top priority is to ensure that no patient has been harmed. If appropriate, additional disciplinary actions will be taken in accordance with the law. What do you make of how the VA is addressing this? Is it urgent enough for you?
Well, I mean, you know, I will say that now that it's out in the news, of course they're having a sense of urgency, but we're talking 3 years since the scandal at Phoenix. And again, the report says that these things were highlighted internally. You know, I don't know if it's something that went to the Secretary's level. I'm thrilled to hear that, you know, he is moving so aggressively once he learned of this. But I'd also say, you know, it highlights issue with logistics. I actually, when I was in the Army, was an Army logistician, and you know, it's something that we have down pat in the Army, and it's ironic that the VA is having such struggles with you know, what is a very cut and dry issue.
Yeah, and you recently testified to a joint session on this. What are the specific and most pressing points that you think need to be addressed?
Well, you know, it's funny that you bring up my testimony, because the #1 priority for IAVA this year is increasing recognition and support for women veterans. You know, I deployed to Iraq myself twice, but most people, even 15 years after war, with women soldiers on the front lines, when they close their eyes, they don't think of somebody who looks like me. And so there's a fundamental recognition issue. 27% of IAVA members who are women say that they don't feel the public respects their service, and that's something we're taking head on this year.
All right, Allison Jaslow, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your service and for your insights. Really appreciate it.